What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. Yes, I am in the bathroom. No, I will not be in here forever, but it's just, another day or two until the family leaves for Thanksgiving. So got some people staying over. Can't use the living room. I could, but I would prefer not to. And I think they probably wouldn't mind, but I would prefer to do videos in private. But anyways, not that I'm embarrassed. I just think it's easier to be loud and not worry about what people think of my volume whenever I'm in here. Anyways, let's get started. Let's talk about this, right? So we're looking at Bitcoin here, 92.5K. We're on the 4-hour time frame. If we look from a high here to a low, right here, our last kind of little pivot that we had, went all the way up to this 1886 extension, pulled all the way back, literally tipping the golden ratio itself at the 618 here. That's kind of our last pivot. It's nice that we found support there. The 4-hour time frame does look to be losing volume, right? We're gaining volume a little bit as we're moving down, but really volume is dying off as we're moving down. We did have this bullish divergence to end this move here, and I will go over why I believe this is the low, and if it's not the low, we're very, very near it. But I do think, we were calling for it a few days ago, and really like over the past couple days, just a move down to around like 90K would be the lowest that I would expect that we'd go. I was thinking that we could find support somewhere around 95K. I was hoping that we'd find support in this like 1272 area, because we saw such a deep extension here. It would make sense that we hold that as support, but reality of the matter is we didn't. We came a little bit lower, and the lowest targets that I had were right around 90K. So here we are right now, finding our low literally at $90,700, right at the golden ratio. I think it's perfect. I think it looks great. Bullish divergence on the 4-hour. Let's go ahead and analyze what happened the last couple times we were on the 4-hour time frame and we got oversold. Okay, so the last time would have been right here. Okay, the last time was actually when we were below 70K. That was the last time we were oversold, right? We were near the green line, right around here at the 123, right? Here's our oversold area. We got oversold here, and then we formed a higher low. We had some bullish divergence. We had a higher low with a lower low in the price, bullish divergence. Started to slowly build up. Then we had a nice rip, and then we just, the rest is history. We started going up, making our run for 100K. We didn't break through 100K, but this is where it all began. Before that, we got oversold a little bit here, got into it, got out of it. That was our low. Slow move up, a little bit of a correction, and then we really started to rip, right? Oversold here, kind of a double bottom. No bullish divergence here, but double bottom nonetheless in the RSI, and that's when we started to move up, right? It was right here in this oversold zone. That was your low. So the past few times we've been oversold have been at relative low areas. The fact that we were oversold over here and we've already bounced off of the oversold zone, we've got this bullish divergence forming. I really do lean toward that to give me the confidence that this was our low. It is premature. It's very premature. We're at 92.6K right now. It's premature to call this a low, but I'm very comfortable and confident. I'm very confident that's the low. If I'm wrong and we do go lower, I wouldn't expect to go too much lower, right? This 123 moving average, that's probably the limitations of it going lower. And as the time goes on, it'll only grow in price. So if we were to go lower than this line, if that's not the low, and I'm very confident it is, if it's not, just a little bit lower is all we have. So really what I'm trying to say, guys, is we're about to get to that exciting point again for Bitcoin, which is when we start to grow. And I know that it seems like it's been so the opposite of exciting for the past 4 days, but guys, we're at 92.6K. A week ago, this was awesome. This is like a goal that we achieved, was to close here at this, right? 2 weeks ago, nobody even thought that we'd be at these prices, right? And 3 weeks ago, I was the only person on YouTube calling for prices this high or higher by the end of the month, right? This, when I say the only person, I'm not saying that as like bragging rights, right? A little bit there, sure, but that's not what I'm saying it for. When I say I was the only person, I mean like most people, and in fact nobody, was talking about these prices 3 weeks ago. So while it's boring right now, while it might seem like the last 4 days has been a bit of a setback, just remember where we came from, and really where we came from in a very, very short amount of time. Nobody was expecting that we'd be up here, 3 weeks ago. I say nobody. We literally, everybody else in crypto can say honestly that nobody was expecting that we'd be at 100K by the end of the month. Everyone can say that honestly, but on this channel, we know that's not true. We have been expecting it all month. Even before the month started, we've been expecting it. So, but that's beside the point. The real thing that I'm trying to say is just that us aside, nobody else in crypto really did expect that we'd be up this high. So even though, yes, it's a little bit of a pullback, I think it's nice, right? This is what we have to complain about. We're at 92.7K. This is bull market behavior, guys. Okay, so assuming that's the low, and I would safely assume it because of the 4 hour, because of the RSI, because of the daily, where if it would load, where we tipped was the daily closing high back here. Because of the Fibonacci from the high to the low, we literally tipped the golden ratio here, okay, as support. We definitely found some nice support on it. I feel very confident we're going to move up, and the best thing to do at this point, I think, would be to take this high to this low and project outwards, right? I'm not going to even look at these retracements. Sure, they're going to be significant. I bet we find some resistance at about 97K, 96K. I bet we do. We probably even find some resistance back at 98.6 right around these highs. But really, I'm using this range here from this high to this low for the fibs to measure out where our expected next high would be. And I do think this is the area that we'll be at by the end of this month. Right at the end of the month, coming in right here on this day, that's December 1st, right there, if I could draw a straight line. So it is November 27th right now. We have today, tomorrow, we essentially have 4 days left, 3 days, 20 hours left before the end of the month. If we are to validate the call that I had in the very beginning of the month, which is that we'd be at 100K by the end of the month, we need to see this starting to take place now, right? Because even this kind of move that I just drew, very fast pace, looks like a fast pace, nice amount of growth, that would still, that would take us to 102K, but that would still be after the month. So if we want to see 100K by the end of the month, we need to start seeing some progress today and really to carry out over the coming days. So hopefully everything's true that I've said, right? Hopefully that this is the low and that we'll progress from here. Maybe don't expect today to be completely eruptive, but I do expect it to be a green day. And then the days to close out the month, the days to close out this week, I would expect to take us to new all-time highs. If they don't take us to new all-time highs, I would think by the end of this week, by the end of the month, I would think it takes us to new all-time highs and thus breaking 100K by the end of this move, which likely would be, if not by the end of this week, by the end of next week. So all that to say, long drawn out video with a bunch of fancy words, or maybe not so fancy words, to say I think we found our low. I think we're moving up. The daily RSI looks to be in an area that it would make sense to find support, right? If we look at this low here, we connect all these lows, kind of right there at the bottom of this trend. We could go a little bit lower and it's okay. I wouldn't expect today to close red, but with this daily RSI in mind, I think it does stand to reason we could close a little bit lower. But all of that taken into consideration, I do think that it's a perfect time to move up. It wouldn't surprise me if this was the low, if we were to move up from here, and that's what I'm expecting. So if that all sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I got nothing else to say. Volume's dying off. Normally, whenever you're in a consolidation phase, which I think that we have been for a little bit now, and volume's dying off, right? When you're coming to the end of that, you do break out one way or another, and then your volume starts to come back in. So hopefully, whenever we do start moving higher, we will start to see the volume grow, right? Starting to grow and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be higher than this, but something more than this as we're moving up is what I'd like to see. But all right, that's it for real. Bye-bye. Moving up from here, 100K by the end of the week. If not, we're less than 2 weeks away. Okay, bye-bye.